How will anybody know it happened if we don't post
That
it
is
on-
true.
If it's
Hi
too
everybody.
far from the
So
cars, then there's no camera.
welcome back to my channel. So I'm here at the Oasis, or the previous name is the Oasis, and we're having a meeting here to discuss.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming out. My name is Kobi. I am the mayor of South Fulton. So, how many people are familiar with Atlanta? Yes, at 285.
Been there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, if you're South Fulton is an area of Atlanta that used to be called the SWATs. You know, hip hop, Southwest Atlanta, that area. If you're driving around 285 from Cascade Road all the way to Old National Highway on that west side, once you get outside the perimeter, you're in the city of South Fulton. We call ourselves Atlanta's new twin city. We were incorporated in May of 2017, so 7 years ago. We are the same size as Atlanta. Atlanta is about 106 square miles. We're about 90 square miles. And with a population that is 93% what I call American Africans, we are the blackest city in the United States.
Say that one more time, sir.
With a population that is 93% American Africans, the city of South Fulton is the blackest city in the United States.
Right on. 93%.
93%. So before I go any further, I want to know who all of you are, so I know my audience.
I can
We'll
start.
start with the ladies.
I'm Audrey Appleby, and I have a YouTube channel, the same name, and I've been in Ghana for about 4 years. Originally from Jamaica, been in the United States for a very long time. Also ex-military and so on and so forth. But I'm here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to know what brought you to Ghana and what made you stay.
Spirit brought me to Ghana, and Spirit made me stay.
Okay.
I'm Karen King, and I told you I live in the Pan-African village, but I also have a company, Africa Bar Construction and Management Services. And I came to Ghana in 2021 on a tour, and when I came, I knew I was going to come back here to live. As soon as I came out of the airport, I knew. And so I went home and told my children and my 16 grandchildren that I'm leaving to move to Ghana, and I've been here since.
And you're from where? Also tell me where
I'm from Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. And you were from Jamaica.
Jamaica and America. So I came here by way of Florida.
You're
so
Jamaican.
Yes, exactly. You got it right.
Okay.
I'm Joy, from North Carolina via New York to Ghana. I met Karen on that same tour in 21. And December, before they closed everything out with COVID, I had came back, and I only went home to visit. But I've been in Africa since then. But my time had been shared between Ghana and South Africa, going back and forth. But now I'm just built, and I'm staying right here in Ghana.
Why
And
Ghana over South Africa?
South Africa's too built up. You might as well be in New York, in the city, you know, there. And there's more opportunity and expression of the culture here as opposed to down there. There's no babies being toted on the back, and I love seeing that, because you know, the babies being taken care of, and they're not being left alone, that kind of thing. So the culture is really being expressed, and I like that part. I like that it's green. I like that we have a coastline. And I just like being here, so I'm not going back. I say bye to my children, grandchild as well. That's it.
Awesome. Pause. One second. As an elected official, because I need to show off, I also need to. These are tax dollars to finance this trip, so people gonna be like, "What was you doing over on the beach?"
Oh
Right,
yeah,
so
you gotta do that.
I gotta let the people know. Go ahead. Yes, we can do that with you. I can hear you. Well, you can speak up.
I'm John Santua. I'm from Southern California. I've been in Ghana a little over 4 years. I was led also by the Spirit, and that's probably why I'm still, not probably, that's why I'm still here. One of the things that I've been involved in is that we have built a library in a very remote area called Aqua, just past Salt Pond on your way to Accra. We will be launching a bookmobile in February, March. And that's one of the reasons I'll be going to South Fulton to network with some folk there who want to be involved with the contributing books, African-centric books, that is. The library that we built is on what they call a basic school, so that's a public school. And we don't have a whole lot of control over the content.
No, no problem. I just
But with the library, which is my project, we'll be able to have control over the type of books that we'll be gathering.
Oh, thought he was not
I've
going
been
to talk.
coming to Ghana since 1987. Great-grandchildren and came along with my wife at that time. And basically, the Spirit told me to get out of the United States. So I came back to live.
Sorry.
Are you in Jackson? Harlem?
No, my brother, I'm from Money Earning Mount Vernon.
Okay.
And so I'll pass it on.
Okay, good afternoon. My arrival name was Anthony Stewart. I came in 2020 as I'm a retired educator in Northern California for 35 years in one school. I came here as a volunteer reading specialist, and my first journey out of here after the 4 months was 3.5 years. I was totally embraced by the people and the students here, and they gave me a position of head schoolmaster. So after becoming head schoolmaster, I started doing things that are needed for schools, and this is more of a private school. Not so much the way private schools are in America, but more the village schools are considered private schools, but they don't have the proper funding. So I had a good journey in the U.S. with the schools that I work with the school that I work with, because I was there for 35 years at one school. I started reaching out to family and friends for some support to get pencils and paper and stuff like that. So that led me to start a foundation which is called the Determiners, and we are determined to make a difference. That's our motto. Since then, it's almost 5 years now since I've been here. I have been involved in putting in windows, doors, getting some supplies. My big project right now, which I just had a conversation with the people working on it, is that it's an orphanage school in Aguafu. It was a shanty school. It was blown down in a storm about 1.5 years ago. So I went out and started doing fundraising for that, and it's been piecing together. But we have been successfully and very grateful that we have built a new school which has 10 classrooms. And the last part, they just finished the plastering, and so we have painting to do. So my reasons for staying for so long too has been I reclaim myself as a black man, and 50, 60 pounds was taken off me after being here, and so that's my journey here.
That's Leo. I came here from, I'm from Massachusetts,
Sorry.
but I came here I started my plan to come out here from Georgia, but I had assets in Texas, so I moved back there, got rid of everything, and then moved out to Ghana. And at the moment, I am working on starting up a company called Motherland's Electronic Outlet, and bringing in products to help with the lighting issues and all that stuff, not only in Ghana, but in different countries in Africa where the Hebrew community is looking to build communities.
My name is Nana Kwame Nkwapo the First. I'm South Korean. Sorry. Yunpa. We're in the school right here in Cape Coast by the dungeon. And I came to Ghana in 2017, 7.5 years ago, from Oakland, California. I lived in Oakland for the last 40 years. I came because I just thought I was coming to Africa off my bucket list. But the first morning I woke up in Ghana, I realized this was going to be my home. And so I committed myself to being here. I left my family. My children all thought I was crazy. My grandchildren broke my heart. They cried. But I knew I needed to be here. So here I am. And I got engaged with the African Hebrew Israelite community. And my Hebrew name is Geboria Ben Israel. And so I'm really happy to be in Ghana. And what my school do, I'm a community developer. So that's why I work with the youth in this local community here. I work with the youth, and I absolutely love what I do. I'm excited about these young brothers coming down here, taking this place called the Oasis. And I'm excited about these young people coming to Ghana. So many more young people are coming here now. And when I first came to Ghana, I was the youngest one in my community. And that was not good, you see. I'm not supposed to be the youngest one anyway. And now I see all these new faces, right? And they got black beards. So I'm quite happy with that, and so I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. All right. So my name is Taki Salim, native from Atlanta, and well, I guess technically Decatur, but everybody calls it Atlanta, and that's what it is. So came to Africa about 4 years ago. Started doing some development, some community-based development in a place called Kaolack, Senegal, and the brothers that invited me there. Some people that I know and love, they fell in love with Ghana, and so we just flowed through. And so now we're doing some projects here, some hotels and stuff. We did a hotel in Accra, and we're doing this one here. Grateful to be part of the community. Really look to get married to Cape Coast and really dive in. Love the infrastructure with regards to education. Love the thriving community that's already here. And look forward to just really kind of understanding the legacy and the vision, and bringing the skills that we have in real estate development to participate in this community life. Grateful.
Pro-black activist my entire life. I am a United States Marine, retired, combat veteran. I'm a graduate of Morris Brown College, magna cum laude. Shout out to Mo Brown. I worked in corporate America for over a decade in Washington, D.C., and I never lost my consciousness. You know, I've always been for the liberation and the salvation of the black nation. I've always been for the upliftment of my people. And it was just a natural progression for me to end up coming to Zimbabwe first in 2017 and 2018 as a consultant for a blockchain Bitcoin company. And then to come here in Ghana in 2019 during the year of return, as fate would have it, because my sister married a Ghanaian in Maryland, and they were coming home to meet the Fockers.
Oh, wow.
And so they asked me if I wanted to come with them, so I came too and fell in love with the place. As sister said, it's a very spiritual journey for me. I've been diagnosed with severe post-traumatic stress disorder from my combat experience. So having accepted that diagnosis late in life and now doing something about it, Ghana has helped to, it's kind of like save my life, right? To help me find that peace inside myself again, to realign my whole body, my whole constitution into being the person that I need to be and I want to be, and putting down the past, right? So since I've been here, I started an NGO called the Real Ghana Foundation, LBG. It's registered here in Ghana. We've hosted over 10 health and wellness fairs in the villages, and we've helped thousands of Ghanaians get free health benefits and health screenings and services in the villages where they live. And we've also worked with Paramount Queen Mother of the Sable traditional area, and we've helped hundreds of young people from the Cape Coast Central Region area go to Accra and get jobs, training, and housing as well. And we need your support with that. A lot of these folks here have helped us and participated and contributed dollars and time and their professionalism and energy to these causes that we support. And what I've found is a people who practice peace as a way of life, who have a culture of respect, And it starts with God. And somebody said, well, who is God? I said, whatever your God is, it's respected here. In fact, they said everyone has a God, so respect everybody's God. Okay? And then 2, respect the elders. And the elders is anybody older than you. 1 year or 100 years, you respect that person. Then respect yourself and everybody else, right? So respect is paramount here. Okay? And then after respect for God, respect for the elders, and respect for yourself, then they practice a culture of, community and loving one another and share their last piece of bread with you. It's a welcoming community. The #1 word in Ghana is akwaba. It means welcome. Back in the old days when I was growing up as a kid, my neighbors from Alabama, when their mother was cooking something, she'd say, have some. You welcome. Would you like to have some? That's some of that same tradition and culture that we brought from West Africa to the United States that still exists today. So what I find here is really throwback to when my grandmother's days and when I was a little kid, when grown folks was talking, you shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? The young people served the elders. You know what I'm saying? The elders were to be respected and to be sought for counsel, guidance. And that's what we found here. And that's what we try to emulate and imitate also in our diaspora communities with the CRIG, Central Region African Ascendants Association in Ghana, where I'm the co-convener. It's over 100 diasporans in that organization. And we have a council of elders, and then we have an executive body, which is the executive council. But we don't throw away our elders. Here they don't discard the elders. The elders come and live with you. Mama gonna come and live with you. There's no old folks home, no senior citizens homes, stuff like that. It's all community. And your individual rights do not outweigh your duty, obligation, and responsibility to the greater community. So it's not so much about the you and I, it's about the we, and the us. So I find it to be refreshing, and I think that all of our brothers and sisters that get the opportunity to come back home to the motherland and experience some of this goodness should definitely come. Thank you for coming.
Awesome.
Mayor from South Fulton.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, so I want to tell you, well, you all keep this, you can pass it around. That's the talking stick. I did tell you a little bit about me. So 10 years ago or so, about 10 years ago, I was driving a bus. I was a bus driver and I was doing music. I went to a visual and performing arts high school, so I was done with politics. I had been an activist sort of my whole life, but it was, it's traumatic. And so I was done with politics. My mom told me to get a good government job. And she said, if you're gonna pursue this music thing, get you a good government job, at least have a pension. And then in 2015, the police killed Mike Brown. And I and some friends formed the Atlanta chapter of the Movement for Black Lives, or the Black Lives Matter movement. I started in law school. I dropped out. I went to work for Stacey Abrams. I found myself back involved in politics when she was a leader of the House. And my first election, I was running the state House race. It was down in Middle Georgia and South Georgia. That year was 2016. Who remembers what happened in 2016? In the United States, we elected he who shall not be named, who has just been reelected again. And so in a way, everybody, all the Democrats lost, all the leftist candidates lost. I called myself a Democrat at the time. And, but this thing had happened, this area of Southwest Atlanta, I grew up calling the SWATs, College Park, East Point, depending on where you were, Cascades, decided to become its own. We should get involved in electoral politics. And to that I said, well, every time we protest, we're protesting elected officials. So why don't we just go take their seats? And so that's what I did. I became a councilman. And then 4 years from that, there was an elder who I did not feel was doing right by our people. And I took his job. So I unseated this 20-year incumbent to become mayor of South Fulton. I really started promoting this message that we were the blackest city in America for 2 reasons. One was about just the dysfunction that I saw. you know, and I could say so many things about that, but I mean, there's nothing that hasn't already been said by ancestors here, from Kwame Nkrumah to W.B. Du Bois, and, you know, everyone that's walked these shores and has tried to lead our people in this diaspora. And I realized that we couldn't. Remember, I said in 10 years before cityhood, we could have had a larger city with a larger tax base, and we voted no. We voted no because many of the people did not think that we could govern ourselves, that we didn't have enough money. Turns out we have the second or third largest budget in the metro area, even starting 10 years late. And the second reason is that people thought we couldn't govern ourselves and that everything would fall apart. And even now, whenever we have a fight, there are people who are like, oh, we never should have become a city. You know, that just that whole mentality. Things were better for us in Egypt. We need to go back to Fulton County.
That lack mentality, right?
Yes. Dr. Joy DeGroot calls it post-traumatic slave syndrome. And so I started talking about us being the blackest city in America because I thought in order for us to really become independent and liberated, we had to liberate our minds first. And that there was work that we had to do as a people, and we couldn't do it without acknowledging that the trauma was particular to us as black people. And I had this, the second reason was really about economic development on two levels. One was this internal economic development. I thought, and I use this analogy all the time, that some of you may know, some of you may not know, the city of Atlanta has consistently ranked for the past decade as the most income unequal place in the world. I mean, in the United States. So this city, which is the only city in the United States that has had 50 years of continuous black leadership, has the highest concentration of black people in school, has the highest concentration of entrepreneurs, is also been for the past 10 years a place that where a child born poor is more likely to die poor than anywhere else in the United States. And so I wanted to address those issues as well. And I had this analogy about the family reunion. And one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about us being the blackest city in America is because I knew that if I talked about us being a family, that folks would get it. You know, you go to the family reunion, everybody might not get a t-shirt because, you know, everybody didn't pay their money. But all of the children are going to eat, you know, and we're going to take care of all the children. I thought that was important. And the last reason was about economic development. The three largest employers in the city of South Fulton, after all of these years of chasing, I don't know if you remember, there was a while where Amazon was talking about moving their headquarters, and we hopped in that, hopped in that dog and pony show with everybody else. And we have been for years trying to put, you know, white people on our brochures and not talk about how black we were and just attract the best. We're just going to be a best-in-class city and attract the best. Well, in all the decades of doing that, our three largest employers are Walmart, World Changers, which is a mega church, and there's a Bank of America call center, not any executives or anything like that, but a call center. And so I thought, we need to do business with people who want to do business with us.
Absolutely.
Instead of chasing people who don't want to do business with us. So I started talking about this message for 2 or 3 years as a councilman. I ran for mayor with this slogan: Black on purpose, period.
Nice.
That we needed to be black on purpose, period. That we didn't just, you know, the city of South Fulton formed because a lots of people chose to live here. They were intentional with their living choices, and I thought we needed to be intentional with our politics. So I came into office as mayor a few years ago, 3 years ago to be exact, and people around the diaspora started hearing this message. So at the time, I was really just focused on the United States and trying to get Fortune 500 companies to come and do business. I said, if you're selling to black people, you need to be in the city of South Fulton. I'm going to tell folks why in a second. But then as I began, I was first invited to Colombia. And then I was invited to Paris. And then I was invited to Rwanda. And I realized as I was traveling around that our strength is our diaspora. You know, if you follow the triangle slave trade, right? That is what created these colonial empires. But in those roots, they planted a seed for a black empire, right? And so I want us to rebuild along those same roots a black empire. I think everybody here knows, you know, in order to create wealth, you need land, labor, and capital. Resources, labor, and capital. We've never been scared to work anywhere that we are. We've always been the hardest working people. The continent has 60% of the world's mineral wealth. And in the United States, we have $3 trillion of black capital. So then I stopped talking about us just being the blackest city in America, but the U.S. capital of the African diaspora. And so that is the message that I have today, is that South Fulton should be the place where the capital of American Africans reaches the resources and the talent of Africa and the rest of the diaspora. We want to be that trading post, that place where all of this capital and knowledge runs through. And so I've started marketing the city in that way, and that is what I've come to share with you. I gave the kids all pins, but I have take-homes for you. This is information, so we are serious. South Fulton means business. You can take a couple and pass them around. We are about the diaspora, so we have these in English and in French. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why South Fulton is the place. Not just because you have this amazing Pan-Africanist mayor who's dedicated to this vision, but we have in South Fulton one of the wealthiest black cities in the nation. Our median income is about $84,000. 67% home ownership. 2 out of 3 people in South Fulton own homes. That is amongst the highest home ownership rate in the nation. Across all demographics. Many of the people that you might associate with Atlanta are actually City of South Fulton residents. The late great John Lewis, Dr. Lee Shelton, the first surgeon, first black surgeon at Grady, 2 Chainz, Candy from the Real Housewives. She and I went to high school together. 2 Chainz. I mean, there's so many people who actually live in the city of South Fulton. We're next to the world's busiest airport, and one of the pieces that was still left unincorporated that we were able to take was the south end of Fulton Industrial Boulevard. So we are next to the world's busiest airport. We are 2 hours from the East Coast's largest seaport, and we have the largest industrial corridor on the East Coast. We have over 5 million square meters of space, and anyone who stores there does not pay taxes. We have a Freeport tax exemption for businesses, people to store businesses there. So we have, there's a good brother named Latron Price who's already bringing products over from Ghana and Nigeria and a couple of other places, Cameroon. And so what we are telling people is that if you want to sell to Black America, the place to start is in South Fulton. We have the entire diaspora assembled there. We have the income to support your businesses. You can test your products. You can store your products. We have some of the most affordable land in America and in the Southeast. We definitely have the most affordable land in the metro area. You can see these statistics on the back. So we're serious. So the title of this is South Fulton Means Business. So we are really here to do business. So if you know people that are trying to bring products to America, we want you to encourage them to bring it through South Fulton.
Nice.
And it is my intention to bring more of South Fulton through the Gold Coast. I heard an interesting fact that this is like the AUC of Ghana. We have so many universities here, so much technical knowledge, and so we really want to build those bridges of exchange for culture, cuisine, and economic development. And so that is my pitch, and if you all have any questions,
I do.
I am subject to your questions.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So, okay, all right. So my question is, of course, you know, whenever, if someone is interested in selling their products or their services through South Fulton, is there a department that's specifically assigned to address these issues? And is that information on the brochure that you've issued to us?
Absolutely. You can email economic development at cityofsouthfultonga.gov.
Perfect.
So the question was, if people are interested in doing business, how do they connect with South Fulton? The main email is here, economic development at cityofsouthfultonga.gov. All this information is also on this website, southfulton.us.
Perfect.
And if you are interested in doing economic development, the economic development director is a brother named Artie Jones.
Okay.
The assistant project manager is a sister named Teresa Parhams. Their information is here. If you're interested in buying some of this most affordable land in South Fulton or getting space in a warehouse, T. Dallas Smith, which is the largest black commercial broker in the United States, is our commercial broker, and Monique Fields is assigned to South Fulton. So we're ready.
Thank you.
Their numbers
for that.
and their emails are here.
Thank you for that.
No problem. No problem. Anyone else?
What's the average home price in South Fulton?
The average home, so we have a wide range. The average home price is around $300,000, but we have homes that start as low as the high ones, all the way up to the millions. Obviously, you know, we got 2 Chainz and Amani Shupert, and Ludacris is my neighbor, so you know, there's a little bit over 300,000.
Well, do you know that the corporations came to Atlanta and bought up a lot of Metro Atlanta and a lot of the surrounding South Fulton impacted by the corporations buying homes there, single family homes?
Yes, everyone is being impacted by this. We're all trying to figure out legislation and pass legislation. I will tell you some of the legislation that we passed. We raised our minimum wage in the city of South Fulton to $20 an hour. We have the highest wages in the state. We banned the box. We decriminalized marijuana. We passed what's called we passed a law in honor of the exonerated 5. So police cannot question our children without a parent or guardian present. But speaking to yours, we passed a law that makes it illegal for people who are trying to buy homes to harass folks. So once you're on the list, if you get called again, that's illegal in the city of South Fulton. We're also working on trying to shut down these rental communities. I will say that the city of Atlanta is no longer majority black. It is still majority black. It's black by a plurality, but like DC, New Orleans, all of these places, it's dropped below 50%. Our current mayor, Andre Dickens, he and I went to high school together for a time. He may be Atlanta's last black mayor.
Wow.
You know, after 50 years of continuous leadership. So
wow.
It's that close. The mayor before him, Kasim Reed, won by 714 votes.
Wow.
In a city that used to be 80%.
Wow.
That's it. That's the city of Atlanta proper. And so one of the reasons that we are the blackest city in America, right, is that people were moving from all of these places to South Fulton because we had the most affordable land. You can imagine, all of my council is black. I was telling brother Taki, I'm gonna get it, brother Taki, that we have 7 council people, 6 of them are black women, and some of them don't like me talking about us being the blackest city in America, but since I've started doing that, we've actually become blacker. So in 2017, we were 89% African American, or I call them American Africans. By the 2020 census, we were 90%, and now the American Community Survey is coming out saying that we are 93% American Africans.
There's one black city councilman, the male, one male.
One male.
What's his name?
J.C. Sebastian. He's actually from Barbados. No, those are all their own
Talking
cities.
about different colleges
Atlanta's
in the
one of
area.
these places that has multiple cities. Within Fulton County, there are actually 15 cities, including Atlanta. South Fulton is now the second largest in the county and the third or fifth largest, depending on how you count it, in the state.
So my interest
His Anthony's interest.
in business, but what I would like to know from you, or get some feedback from you, is because I'm in education. And one of
He's in
my,
education.
understandings is that our African children and our American children have very little connection.
He's saying that African American children in the United States have very little connection.
With some in the States right now. How would you address that? So that there's a possible chance of doing some kind of bridging the gap between students in America and
Bridging the gap bridging the gap between students in America and students in Africa.
Because, you probably know the way education is now, and not letting us learn who we are, and some of that stuff is going on here. That connection is vital for the future of not just the young people, but for Africa and America in itself, so that we can, like a lot of us who have said, we have reclaimed our blackness, our Africanism, our education and stuff like that. So my interest would be, is there some agenda or vision for that? We're in
Definitely. So first, I think that we have to be the change.
Correct.
Right? I told you that I visited Rwanda. I came originally for the 30th commemoration of the genocide last year. And I came originally to speak to some students. How many people have heard of African Leadership University? It's an amazing university. They are raising the next generation of Pan-Africanists. It's in Kigali, and they've started a business school. So I enrolled in the MBA program there. So you're supposed to go to, you go 3 times a year to the continent. And then you take the rest of the classes online. All of the students were from all around the continent. There were 2 of us that weren't. One was actually from Japan. The other one was was me, from the United States. It's the only MBA. The guy from Japan came because it's the only MBA school in the world that has MBA in the business of conservation. Right. So, and one of the things that really shocked me, we have this amazing professor from South LA, T. Omawale Crenshaw, and he gave us a quiz. There are just so many. There's like 25 questions on the quiz. Like, what is the GDP of Africa? What was the first country to be liberated? Just different questions. What is the chief export of Ghana? What is the chief export of Gambia? What is? He gave us a map. Can you name all of the capitals? Everyone failed the test. I knew that I was going to fail the test, but I was shocked at how many people in Africa, how many Africans only knew their own history of their own country, but did not know. And so I think that's the first step. But the next step, you all know, he who shall not be named is back in power, and all of his cronies. And people have heard of ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. They are the evil empire of legislators. So there are people like the Heritage Foundation. They basically get together and have conferences and write legislation that then gets copied and pasted. So one of the things that's happening all around the United States now is obviously there's an attack against, they're calling it DEI, like that's the new buzzword, right? But all of these states, including Georgia, have passed laws that have made it illegal to teach history in schools that makes anyone feel bad about their history. Wow. Now, who would feel bad about their history? So they're actually beginning to defund education in the schools. Oh, wow. As a city, we aren't in charge of our schools, but we are in charge of our parks. And so we have begun to do education programs in our parks. In addition to teaching our kids about history, right, and teaching them about our history, we've also started an electricians program in our park. We are the first city in America to be graduating kids from an electric program with a certification and a job for free. Everyone gets to go for free. So we're working on not only building people's minds but also building their skills.
The population of South Fulton?
No, I mean I'm a Pan-Africanist. So, you know, I believe, as Dr. Nkrumah said, like, you know, the liberation of South Fulton is connected to the liberation of the entire diaspora. We're all connected in this web together. When people here do better, people in South Fulton do better. When we can invest more here, folks can send more capital and resources here. You know, from there to here. Many of you know one of the big economic problems is that we have all of the mineral wealth, but it leaves this continent for pennies on the dollar because all of the value added to that wealth happens in other countries. If it's happening outside of the continent, if that should happen at all, it first should happen in our communities. And then we need to bring that knowledge and those knowledges and skills back. We need to be developing this throughout the diaspora. And we can't do it without, you know, it's not just a saying like, oh, you know, we've got $3 trillion, but we can't do it without you. No, we really can't. We have $3 trillion in capital, but no resources. We own no mines. I met a brother here, Gabriel, who helped me get out here today, who owns a gold mine. You know, so like we need each other.
Right.
Right? Many of you have not visited, but since Georgia refused to expand Medicaid and Medicare and Obamacare, all of these hospitals have been closing. In Atlanta, there is no hospital south of I-20.
Wow.
So Grady is gone?
No, Grady is north. Grady is right at I-20.
Right at I-20.
South Fulton is 100 square miles. We do not have a hospital.
Wow.
We do not have a movie theater.
What?
Like community, can
we have a Bible college. It's a suburb. We were designed to be a suburb of Atlanta. So as we are building this independence, right, we need builders. We need developers to come. Yeah.
Right. You can't find it here.
Maybe not here, but there are developers. There are developers in Africa.
It's a joke. It's a joke with
the
experience we've been having building.
From contractors.
Okay. That would be a great place to start. Shea butter, all the raw materials for beauty products. But I think that, you know, part of the reason that I've come and I'm trying to, I'm getting people to come here. So we're going to have all mayors now do this state of the city, right? My state of the city, I moved to our city's anniversary, which is May 1st. So all of you are invited to South Fulton, May 1st for our city's anniversary. But I think that we really need to start this conversation to understand, to really start doing some resource mapping. And really, I'm here as an ambassador, but I want to come back with business people so that they can say directly, like, this is what we need. You know, and then we need to hear from business folks here, what do you need to be successful here? Do you need help I recently visited the Port of Savannah. One of the great things about the Port of Savannah is that they have a 24-hour call center and they have a customs center in the port. And so one of the things that we were finding is that, particularly when people were coming from Africa, right, their goods were being held in the port for maybe it's terrorism, maybe it's drugs, it's coming from these countries of unknown origins. So we recently went down to Savannah and we actually helped Latron get some of his items that were coming from West Africa out of the port and making that process easier. So those are the kinds of conversations that we need to have to figure out how do we lower the barriers to entry into our market.
My stuff came here from Savannah.
I believe it's just a few miles that way. Taki. I'm going to get this name before I leave. You would think being a politician that I'm better with names, but I'm not really a politician, so I'm not good at it. But I would love for us to have our council retreats here. We have an annual council retreat the 3rd through the 7th, and I was pushing for us to go to Kigali, but we got voted down. So I'm going to try again next year, and maybe we'll come. Maybe we'll come here. But definitely, it would help me if as many of you as possible, or you recommended people to come to the State of the City on May 1st, because they're still, in the same way that a lot of people couldn't see the vision. It's so crazy. I've been having all of these circular moments, right? In 2006, when it was first on the ballot, it failed because people didn't think it could happen. We were forced into cityhood because the economic report started coming back to say, so there's this law, without getting too technical, the devil is crafty. So they passed this other law that said, when a city incorporates, all the money that is raised in that city has to be spent in that city. So as all of these wealthy northern white cities became cities, Johns Creek, Alpharetta, all of these people, all these places became cities. They took their money out of the county. Our parks started closing. All of our parks were understaffed and closing or closed. But it was when we got the report, unfortunately, that we wouldn't even have enough money for police and fire if we didn't. So we were forced into incorporation. Now I see the same thing happening. There are a lot of people that are still hesitant about this message. But the way that our country is headed now, I don't know if you all know, but since the election and the takeover of Congress, many companies have started ending and shutting down their diversity programs. Walmart shut down its diversity program. All these Fortune 500 companies. So now we're being forced to do business with one another. Again,
Sometimes
it's a full circle moment.
Right.
Sometimes the higher let me put you back in that kind of crunch place so you rise up and be the black city. Because if we keep looking for somebody else that give us a hand out here, no, we got everything we need within us. We just need to rise up and do it. But sometimes it takes pressure to get us to do it.
And if I come back.
All right, everybody. So I just want to say I'm running out of time for this particular video, but I just want to thank you all. Please continue to subscribe, and I will continue to bring you videos that are actually worthwhile, in a sense where you can gain some knowledge and interest, something that you might want to do moving forward. So I hope that this video will show you and you can participate in the South Fulton growth. I know some of you are looking to move. Maybe you don't want to move to Ghana. Maybe South Fulton, Georgia is the place to be. You never know. I will put in the description box below all the details and information in reference to who you need to contact, being able to do business, for those that are here in Ghana, being able to do business with members of the South Fulton community. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends and those that need to looking to make changes, right? So don't forget. And I'm here at the Oasis in Cape Coast, and as you can see, by the seaside. All right, thank you guys. Take care. Hi everybody. Yeah, that's me. So anyway, yeah. So I'll see you next time. See you next time as I continue to serve and give you information, and that's going to be beneficial and helpful to you. All right, guys. Bye. Take care. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you.